Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to IAG Live, and we're broadcasting live from the luxurious surroundings of Solaire Entertainment City. I'm sitting in Fresh at the moment, which is the name of the breakfast buffet, and we're here, of course, because tonight we have our very last event of the year, Manila After Dark, 33, I think it is. At the Baccarat Room and Bar, now known as the BRB. So we're all looking forward to that, our Christmas party for Manila. And as always, we have our intrepid studio producer with us, Oscar Guiaro. Come in, Oscar. You're in the
Hello,
office.
how are you?
How are you?
All good, all good.
Very good, very good. You didn't get the trip to Manila this time. So oh well. C'est la
Next
vie.
time. Okay.
Feliz Navidad.
Muchas gracias.
See, you taught me last week.
Okay.
Very good, Oscar. Okay, very good. All right, and let's bring in our. See you, Oscar. See you. Oh, hang on, Oscar. Come back. Come back. 1 week to go, Oscar. So we'll see you. All the Oscar fans can see you next Friday for the last ever appearance of Oscar for well, not last ever, but last for 2025 anyway. All right, very good. So let's see you, Oscar. Ciao. Let's bring in managing editor of IAG, Mr. Ben Blaschke, all the way from Sydney.
Hey, Andrew.
How are you?
I'm good. Enjoying
good.
The countdown to the end of the year.
Yes, we're really on the home stretch now. We've come around. I think we've done the back straight. I think we're coming around the curve at the moment, just about so we can see the home straights in sight. We're just about to come around. We're in the second last 100 meters of the track on the marathon. So what's going on in Sydney? What's the temperature like there? You said it was pretty hot last week.
Yeah, it's a bit rainy today, but still quite humid and warm. So yeah, it's been warming up a lot the past few weeks. So I think it'll be quite a hot Christmas.
Very good. Just keep talking for a minute. Let me see if I can attempt this physical maneuver. Hang on a sec.
All right, so Andrew is going to go into full Santa mode, I think. We're interested to see how this goes with the headphones. And okay, looks like you've.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
There we go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hang on, I have to like angle the laptop up a little bit there. There we go. It doesn't look very good, does it? With the headphones. Anyway, that'll do. Got to get into the Christmas spirit. So there'll be a Christmas party this tonight, and unfortunately you won't be here, Ben. All the Ben fans are going to be sad.
Yeah, well, none of them, so that's fine. But yeah, I caught up with some friends in Sydney last night in the city for my own a couple of Christmas drinks, and it was absolutely packed in Sydney. Every bar, every restaurant was absolutely chockers. So it was quite just bristling at the seams, really. So yeah, quite interesting to see. So it's getting busy around this part of the world.
You said you went out with friends?
Yeah, I know. Surprising. I paid them. Yeah.
This is a new development for IAG. Yeah, okay. Ben's got friends. Okay, very good. So well, let's get into the news of the week. Let's bring up our first story. And well, this is interesting. A lot of people had been saying to me, how's Ballys going to afford, they've got New York, they've got Illinois, or Chicago, I should say, which is in Illinois, and now they're taking over Star, and sure, that's only going to cost them a couple of $100 million at this stage, which they've already paid, but they're going to have to probably invest some money in Star to get it right. Where's all this money coming from? And then we had this story come along.
Yeah, and so obviously I read into this one a little bit, read a few analyst notes, and sort of looked into what this means for Ballys. So obviously this is seen as quite an important step. I mean, the talk had been about the fact that Ballys had some pretty big commitments happening at the moment. Of course, building in Chicago, just awarded a license in New York. As you said, Andrew bought a stake in Star for a couple of $100 million. So this is actually quite an important moment for Ballys to secure these term loans worth 1.1 billion US. Just gives them a bit more financial flexibility moving forward. Staves off some a few more years before repaying some other debts. So this is quite positive for them moving forward.
Yeah, well, 1.1 billion. I mean, they're going to need more than that in the longer term, but this certainly keeps them going for a while and answers those questions about where's the money coming from. I mean, I think Sue Kim, the chairman of Ballys, had publicly stated that he had bit of a war chest. I think 800 million. So add 1.1 to that's 1.9. Let's call it 2. What's 100 million between friends? And so he's got a bit of cash now, as well as having a bit of game and all of the things that he's doing. He's not afraid, is he?
No, not at all. They're, obviously Ballys is pretty aggressive out there in the market in seeking out opportunities. Certainly not sitting back and waiting for life to pass by. That's for sure. I guess one of the two is, obviously we know there's significant investments in Chicago and New York, but will there be further investment required for the start? You would think so at some stage, and of course the Austrac fine sort of lingering, hovering above there too. That has not been determined or announced yet. So, we'll see how that all goes.
Yeah, I was chatting with a senior executive yesterday who shall remain unnamed. And just because I'm in the Philippines doesn't mean they were in the Philippines. We were talking about that very thing, the fine, what the right number would be. And obviously the fine, the sort of equivalent fine, I guess you would say, with Crown was 450 million Australian, so 300 million US. The argument would be that a similar number would probably be right, but then you could also argue that a number to Blackstone is very different to a number to Star. So Blackstone, obviously having acquired Crown Melbourne or Crown Resorts, the whole Crown Resorts, Melbourne, Perth, Sydney, and even Aspinalls, which they then subsequently sold to Wynn for an undisclosed, probably relatively small amount to create Wynn Mayfair, which, by the way, I'll be going to in January. That was $9 billion Australian, 6 billion US. So that's a lot different to the 300 million we've been talking about for Star, for 60% of Star. So, what's your sense, Ben? You're there on the ground. What do you reckon?
Look, the way I see this probably playing out is that I think it'd be very difficult for Austrac to justify a significantly smaller fine, given the offences that are alleged for Star, or in many cases proven for Star.
Yep.
So I'd be surprised. As you said, maybe taking into account the fact that a large fine would be very difficult for Star to survive. But I actually sort of see this playing out as being a fine imposed with a certain period to pay it back over a certain number of years. So maybe Star has to pay 100 million over 4 years, 100 million a year over 4.5 years, something like that might be a way. Assuming the fine was in the same range as Crown's, 450 million Australian, maybe they break it down into smaller payments over time. That sort of make the most sense to me as to how that might play out.
I just, that sounds very logical. Look, I've just received a message. My mic is very scratchy, and I'm actually hearing it myself. I don't really know why. So I'm going to attempt to take the headphones off and just do it with the native sound. It's a little noisy in here, but let's give it a go and see how we go. So Ben, just cover for me while perhaps we get the next story up, and you can start on that while I disconnect the Bluetooth and see how we go.
Yep. Well, just mentioning Wynn a moment ago, Andrew, so this is certainly very topical. Obviously, Wynn held a very well-publicised investor day in the UAE a week or two ago, a bit over a week ago, I think, where they hosted a number of analysts and various people from around the world to have a look at their Wynn Al Marjan Island property. They also released a deck, quite a detailed deck, providing financial details around the resort. Obviously, we covered that. The interesting thing in this was GGR. Wynn presented a low case, a base case, and a high case for their financials around Wynn Al Marjan Island. The high case was gross gaming revenues of 1.66 billion annually, looking at. And obviously, this story written here is that some analysts actually believe that might be quite conservative. Around 2 billion US. I can hear myself there, Andrew. Possibly not working.
I've got.
Yes, maybe go back to the headphones. It was a little bit scratchy, but not too bad. Anyway, moving on. So analysts believe that Wynn's own financials may be a little bit conservative. They think this market could really be quite a booming one. For Wynn to have a high case of 1.66 billion US GGR, analysts thinking it could be more than the high case, shows that plenty of people are bullish about Wynn's opportunity there in the UAE. And it was pretty widespread. A number of analyst notes were very, very bullish on the Wynn opportunity. So they, expressing quite confidence in what Wynn can achieve there in both revenues, EBITDA generation, and quite a luxury offering they're going to provide there. And also, I think one analyst said that they expect around the US $25 boost to the share price based on the UAE once it opens as well. So that's really going to add quite a bit to Wynn's offering overall for shareholders. Oscar, while we've got Andrew lingering around in the background there, perhaps we can move on to the next story. All right, plenty happening in Vietnam at the moment. Of course, we wrote recently. Oh, look, Andrew's back. He's got the headphones.
How's
Can
it
you hear?
sound?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
That's better. Yeah, that's better than before.
Yep. Okay. Sorry about that. Technical problems on the road, as always. I think we got to sort this out in the future. Anyway, I'll let you continue, Ben.
Yeah, so Andrew was talking about Vietnam. Of course, a lot of movement in Vietnam recently. We saw the Ministry of Finance and the government recently sign off on approving the Grand Ho Tram to take part in a 5-year pilot program of locals gaming. Corona down in Phu Quoc, they're given a permanent local status. And there's been a lot of talk about some other movements here. So aside from that happening, the Ministry of Finance is also looking to simplify financial capacity requirements. One of the proposals that they're really pushing for is, rather than have locals rock up to Ho Tram or Phu Quoc down there and having to present all sorts of paperwork proving that they're financially capable, perhaps a higher entry fee is a more simple way to determine financial capabilities, financial status there. So that's being pushed through. Looks like that will happen. Maybe it's been a little bit of pushback based on some reports from the operators around that. But I think that looks like the Ministry of Finance is fully supporting this. And based on what we've seen previously, their wishes have sort of gone answered by the government as well.
Very interesting. Yeah, Vietnam's a real opportunity if they can actually get that right. Big population, high propensity to gamble, and the properties there have been, the no locals properties there have been struggling for quite a long time. If they ever get, fully fledged locals or even decent locals like Singapore, they're going to do very, very well indeed.
Yeah, and Andrew, I think Ho Tram will be a very interesting case study, a bit more of a local population base than down there at Corona. And of course, the Van Don Resort, not built yet, scheduled to be built by 2032. We'll see if they stay on track for that. That's also been approved to take part in the pilots program, even though it doesn't exist yet. So that's always an interesting one.
Yep. So notice my microphone's a little scratchy still, but not nearly as bad as before. So apologies on that. We'll look into that in the next week and see what we can do about that. Okay, all right. Let's go to the next one, shall we? Yes, Ben, you did this on Wednesday, and I actually am not over this very well, so I'll let you do this one.
Yeah, look, this is really just, I thought this was interesting because it just highlights the fact that this transaction has gone through with Newport, with Travellers International Hotel Group, the operator of Newport World Resorts, basically taking control of this project, the LetX project. I'm sure that might be renamed in the future. So yeah, this was just highlighting that Suntrust had reported a $463 million US loss, which is basically writing off the assets, etc., property and assets that had been transferred across to Travellers, rather than any sort of cash loss. So yeah, really the story is just highlighting the fact that this transaction has happened now, based on Suntrust financials, and obviously Travellers now have control of that integrated resort development there at Westside Entertainment City, and progressing that with a goal of opening by late 2026 at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, the takeover of LetX by Newport, I think, is overwhelmingly a good thing. We broke that news and reported on the fact that this will allow people, vendors to get paid. It'll allow the project to be finished, and in the long term, it'll be a great opportunity for Travellers and for Kevin Tan's company, Travellers. I think it's great for them to have this property completely under their control and ownership, including the casino, and it'll be just another addition to Entertainment City. So, best of luck to them. They've got to kind of clean up a few things, but I'm sure they will. And in the long term, they'll get there. And all right, let's move on. Got a
Next one,
question there
Oscar.
from Andy's son. What's the Star Casino situation now? Went there yesterday and found not many people. Yeah, it is pretty quiet. I mean, we'll move on to our next story, but I think, Andy, we've covered this quite a lot, and perhaps go to asgam.com and type in, we'll probably type in Ballys at the moment to the search engine, or Star Entertainment, and you'll get plenty of coverage on that. Obviously, Ballys taking over, and Bruce Matheson Jr. now the chairman, and Kim Sue, the chairman of Ballys, and George Papineer on the board. So we've covered that quite a lot. So thanks for the comment, and go check out asgam.com for more. And we did comment a little bit on that at the beginning of this show. So when it goes on YouTube after we finish, of course, all of our live streams go up on YouTube after they're all available to be watched afterwards, which a lot of people do. You can check it out there at the beginning as well. All right, let's move on to the Philippines. Yeah, I'm in the Philippines at the moment. They're all crying poor over here at the moment. They're all the operators. The GGR is definitely down. There's definitely less Chinese, less Koreans here than before. A lot more of a locals market. Although you're saying here that the DOT, as they call it, the Department of Tourism, is reporting better tourism numbers. Well, they're not really seeing it in the casinos, I don't think.
Yeah, look, it was just sort of taking into account what the numbers are saying now versus earlier in the year. I mean, the year as a whole, January to November, as it says here in the headline, foreign tourist arrivals down 3%. A lot of that is due to, as you said, Andrew, a big decline from Korea. I think it's about 21% from Korea now compared to last year. China down, first in the story there, we're around about 14%.
27, I think, last year, 27.
I think China's down by a little less than that. It was down by 27 earlier in the year. That's sort of narrowed quite a bit over the past few months. So it just looks like that decline from China has sort of slowed a little bit. I don't know how positive that is. I'm sure they'd like to see a big bump, but at least it has slowed that decline. So, small positives, small steps that you can take. But I think overall, the fact this has sort of been a bit of a recurring theme throughout the year, that sort of foreign tourist number has lingered around the 3% year-on-year decline throughout most of this year. And as I said, the majority is from those two key source markets. The interesting thing is that pretty much all of the other source markets that are in the top 10 have shown year-on-year increases. It's just such a big decline from Korea and China that's affecting the whole thing.
Yes. Look, it's really something that they've been complaining about here, the lack of international business, and it's actually quite noticeable as you walk around the floors that there is not that sort of Korean and Chinese contingent that typically you do see in the Philippines. So I guess they got to make that up with the e-games. They should have a successful e-games. I mean, that's booming over here in the Philippines, the e-games sector. So, I think they're probably their route to improving things. And as long as they can keep that sector going, and they can get around the political issues around that, and get that somewhat stable, which Chairman Tenko was talking about the other day, get that stable. I think that's probably their path forward in a lot of ways. Maybe not so much overseas tourism, but let's see how that plays out over the next year or two, because they are going to need to get the GGR up a little bit here in the Philippines, I think.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I think we saw a big boom post-COVID. Now we're sort of seeing things. I think they plateaued. So, I think now we're seeing that sort of come down a bit. So maybe things will start to stabilize in 2026, and then we might see a bit of an upward progression again.
Yeah, what tends to happen is whenever there's a boom, everybody thinks, oh, that's normal now. And then when it goes down, everybody cries poor. I've seen that pattern over and over and over again over the years. You've got to understand when GGR goes up, unless you've got that stabilized for a number of years, like we've seen in Macau, for example, you can't really assume that's the new number now. It could be a peak.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to the next story, Oscar. Oh, Hann, this is unfortunately clashing with our MAD tonight. That was an unhappy accident. That certainly wasn't planned. But Hann, big opening today.
Yeah. So plenty happening up there for Hann and Clark. Obviously,
It's great.
Opening in February, I believe. They haven't put an exact date on that yet, but they've said February. But before that happens, they've got a significant expansion of their existing property here, Hann Casino Resort. A lot of more gaming space. In fact, around 50% more slots than previously. They had about 1,000 slots previously, up to around 1,500. About 40% more tables. They had 200 tables, so they'll have around 280 now. So quite a bit more capacity. Of course, anybody that's been to Hann on a Friday or Saturday night knows that it's pretty packed in there. And a few. Also, they're going to open some VIP space early next year, and there's some new restaurant concepts. So I think much needed capacity expansion for them. Big opening tonight. Should be a lot of fun for those that are up there. Of course, come to MAD if you're in Manila, and if you've been invited. And good to see plenty happening in the Philippines tonight, Andrew.
And you know, if you're up at Hann, just be up there for the opening, jump into your private chopper or shoot down. It'll only take 10 minutes to shoot down to land on the roof at Solaire and come down and join us later on the evening. It's that's probably a good way to do things.
Is that your plan, Andrew? You're going to jump in your private chopper and go between the two?
Yes, my private chopper. I think that's still on order at the moment. My private chopper. It might take a little while before it gets here.
No problem.
Yes. But in all seriousness, good luck to Hann. Ran into Rod Hackman the other day and had a chat to him. He started work about a few weeks ago, a month ago or something. Up there at Hann. Rod's a great friend of ours and been around the industry for decades. And he started up there at Hann as well. And of course, Dennis is up there as well, Dennis Andriachi. And Mr. Hann himself is quite a visionary, quite an innovative guy up there, and everything that he's doing with the golf, as you mentioned. They're opening the next phase of it all in February. They got those 3 golf courses. They're going to be great golf courses. What have they got? They got the Nicholas. They got They got the KJ Choi, the Korean golfer, and who else am I missing? The other one. Oh, Nick Faldo, of course. Yeah, Faldo, of course. It's going to be great. Anyway, all right, next one, Oscar. Speak of the devil. MAD. We had MAD 32, so we released this week the highlights video of our MAD 32 event, which was at Wynn Palace last Friday. So that was our Christmas in Macau, and tonight is our Christmas in Manila. Great event, wasn't it? It was just fantastic up there. I know you don't know because you weren't there, Ben. That's right. You're having your Sydney sabbatical, and then we'll see you in Barcelona at ICE. But look, it was an absolutely fantastic event. Palace Reserve Club, fantastic food. They really put on a great spread. They had Beijing duck there. They had great charcuterie boards there. They had it was really good. No drink, no on demand, not allowed. I mean, it wasn't just the standard, red house white champagne. I mean, they were serving whatever you wanted up there. It was great. I can't say enough about the Wynn team. The Wynn events team are a delight to work with. I know our events team get very excited when they do an event with Wynn because they just know it's going to go smoothly. They work together well, and just on the Hann story as well, which just jumps to mind. You just want to give props to the marketing team up there at Hann. They've starting to get some news out there and working a bit closely with them. And there's they got a bit of work ahead of them up there at the marketing team up there at Hann with all the stuff that Hann's rolling out. But anyway, back to MAD. Yeah, the event at Wynn, that's becoming a bit of a tradition to do our Christmas party in Macau at Wynn, and couldn't be a better place to do it. So we'll just maybe Oscar just click the play button on the video without the sound, and people can see and just expand that. Maybe you can go full screen on the video, and we can just let that run a little bit. That is the view from where we had the event. You can literally stand on the water's edge at the balcony there, and thanks to our sponsors, of course, Light and Wonder. There's some of the food. There's the Beijing duck. It was just great. So really, really good event. They had some great sweets there as well. Just an excellent. You can see some of the people there that were at the event. Very, very good. Anyway, let's move on. And tonight we have MAD in Manila, and I think we've just got a shot of there's Craig Fullerlove from Wynn. He's the Chief Financial and Chief Administrative Officer, and he's a great friend of IAG's. And there's Scott in the background, I see, just behind Craig's left shoulder. Was it? No, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry, I tell a lie. It's Carlos. Carlos from MDME. It was very, very fuzzy here for me. And there's, of course, Ken Jolly, Light and Wonder. Who could mistake him? And he'll be here tonight at the Mad in Manila. Anyway, Oscar, let's move on to the next story. And we just whacked this one up to show you a picture of the venue tonight. Is that the only picture we have in the story of the venue tonight? I think it is.
We have
right?
another one. No, we don't have in that story, but we do. We've run a number of pictures of the venue in a previous story in the week, and yeah, man, it's a great little venue there, Andrew. BRB. It's great spot to sit there and have a whiskey or a glass of wine and a nibble, and very relaxing.
Yeah, and a few baccarat tables down there too. So if you suddenly feel like a punt, well, there you go. And Oscar, maybe scroll down and we'll just give some props to our sponsors. So you can see there, Solaire, of course, our first ever Mad in Solaire, actually. So Solaire, our venue sponsor. Arcada Manila is our diamond sponsor. Platinum sponsor, Light and Wonder. And then gold sponsors, Aristocrats. Keep scrolling down. TechNet, I know, is one, and Evolution is one. Yeah. So great to have a number of sponsors, industry people there supporting us. Thank you very much. And that their sponsorship and support allows us to put such a great event on, and it will be a great event. I'm sure these MADs are really well attended and great networking opportunities for industry people.
Yes, absolutely. Shame I won't be there, Andrew, but I look forward to.
You can't go to everything. I mean, you were at the beginning of the year. You went to a lot, so have a bit of a break, and we'll see you in Barcelona. Okay, next one. What have we got next, Oscar? Yes, you did this one just this morning, Ben.
Yeah, look, I think this is just more of the narrative that's been around Macau for the past 6 months or so, which is all very positive. Growth moving forward. City have come out with looking a little bit ahead to 2026. So they're predicting 6% GGR growth, 10% EBITDA growth in 2026. And the reasons they're sort of looking for that are really going to contribute to that, of course, we've spoken a lot over the past year or so about the role that concerts, high-profile concerts, have played in generating premium traffic to Macau. Of course, a lot of those tickets are given away to the premium players. So that certainly attracts them. New hotel suite supply that has come on recently and continues to come on in Macau across many concessionaires. That'll help as well. One of the things that City said is that should help grow length of stay a little bit as well. Obviously, length of stay in Macau has been quite low recently, Andrew, 1.1, 1.2 days, even lower than traditionally.
Well, 1.1 actually, down by 0.1 from 1.2 to 1.1 for the first 9 months, according to DSEC. I had to look that up for some reason the other day, and 1.1, it's really low, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And then the other factor, of course, is all this proliferation of baccarat side bets at the moment. Of course, smart tables have enabled this to happen. New table layouts. A lot of the concessionaires experimenting with various side bets. Some of them have up to 7 side bets on their baccarat tables.
Yeah,
5 or 6. But certainly they still continue to. The DICJ continues to approve new side bets. The concessionaires continue to experiment with them. But whatever the case is, I mean, they're all certainly seeing it really help with margins as these.
I wonder if that will last. I mean, I wonder if that's a fad or it's here to stay, because obviously it makes the edge on the game faster, which means players ultimately will have a bit of a tougher time on the tables. And I wonder if there'll be a bit of a backlash to that. Some of these layouts are getting just plastered with all these side bets. I wonder if the pendulum will swing back a little bit in the future. Or maybe not.
I think it's already starting to happen a little bit. There has been a bit of talk, particularly around the smart table guys. I saw a talk in Las Vegas at G2E, Andrew, between Angel was there, a couple of the other operators, Walker Digital, were there talking about this very fact that some of the Macau operators are starting to scale back their side bets a little bit. Maybe they got a little bit overexcited with 7 or 8 side bets, but the problem is that can overcomplicate what is actually a pretty simple game at heart. And you don't want to sort of drive away those traditional baccarat players that still like to have a bet on player or banker.
Yeah, so I mean, I just did a little calculation on my phone. If it is up 6%, I think we're heading to about maybe $30.5 billion US for the year. So that would bring it out at 32.3. It's really getting up there with the higher margins we have these days. That's absolutely great for Macau. Very, very interesting. Look, some of you may have seen I've been a bit distracted in this stream because I've been getting a lot of text messages. It's just been reported that Byron Yip has left Sands after being there only for well, how long? Maybe a month or 6 weeks or something. So I'm getting quite a few messages around that news breaking. So we might look into that today and see if we can publish something with a bit of information about what's going on there. If Sands have got any comment, apparently Sands are not commenting at the moment, so we'll reach out to them and see if we can get some comment on that. Yes, all right. Well, let's move on to the next one. And this is interesting in India, isn't it? This thing that's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, this has really thrown the whole industry, the online real money gaming industry in India, upside down. It basically put it on hold. It's basically in a hold pattern at the moment, Andrew, while they await for this court decision. Of course, in August, the government passed very, very suddenly an act that banned real money gaming across the country, including skill gaming. So all sorts of online gaming involving real money completely banned at this stage. Obviously been a number of legal challenges that followed from some of the operators involved in the industry there, and they're basically waiting for a decision. So interesting, so there was a Supreme Court session held yesterday where the judge basically put it on hold till January, saying it really needed a three judge bench to make this decision. Quite a few factors coming together here to determine what the opinion is going to be of the court. And the argument of the operators is, the longer we wait, the more we're just sitting here waiting and burning through money. Of course, a number of operators have left the market already, but some are still sitting there generating no revenue, but still with a number of expenses outgoing. So this is a matter of, really wanting to push this forward so they have an answer one way or the other.
While I've been here in the Philippines, this has been mentioned, and a lot of Indians interested in moving to the Philippines and Indian-facing businesses. Is my microphone still scratchy? It does sound like it to me.
A little.
Or is it okay?
It's okay.
All right. I think maybe I'm getting it worse in my ear than you guys are getting it. But yeah, anyway, look, there's quite a bit of interest here. While I've been in the Philippines, I've been having some meetings, and there's a lot of people from India and South Asia generally interested in moving their operations to the Philippines. There is online gaming here, and I think there's a very active movement going on in the online gaming industry here. Developments for the future. The pogos are gone. Pigo is thriving, but there is some pushback from society, and I think Padcore is really trying to make this a sustainable industry in the Philippines. You're trying to find the right balance where it can be sustainable for society, and the Philippines can be a hub for iGaming in Asia because there really is no other country that's trying to address this. I mean, you may remember that Cambodia tried to for a while, but that ended some 5 years ago. There are some activities in other countries, but they're basically grey market, illegal kind of stuff. We don't really want that. We want a proper regulated online industry. So, what's going on in India is having an effect over here. And I think all credit to Padcore. They recognise that there has to be an online gaming industry in Asia, because if there isn't, it'll be underground. And they're trying to do something about it. And I think India, they're barking up the wrong tree here, but India, by banning the whole thing, because they're just going to end up with a very vicious underground industry if they go down that path. So I don't know, any further thoughts you have on that one, Ben? I mean, Australia's an interesting case, isn't it? You've got a thriving online sports betting industry, but no casino and no poker.
No legal casino and no poker, Andrew. We also have a thriving underground online casino and online poker market here. Of
course.
I mean, that's just the trend that happens everywhere. I always find it remarkable that so many jurisdictions will impose bans thinking that is a solution. They seem to be burying their heads in the sands, that I don't think that, prohibition has never really worked in almost any industry you can think of. So again, I think India is going to find that out the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. Look, and just I want to mention, look, I'm staying here in Solaire at the moment. The team here have been absolutely fantastic. Interesting developments here in Solaire. I mean, Solaire's product offering has been it's been the industry leader over here for sure. Although Newport is giving it a run for its money. But the product offering's been very stable over the years. And in fact, what's been going on now is Solaire's been expanding and making a few changes. It was quite interesting. So they've got a new space here called The Space, actually. Very interesting mice space. They've developed a ballroom as well. I mean, people will remember many years ago, Solaire had a ballroom, but then they converted that into a VIP gaming space. They didn't have a ballroom for a while. They've now developed a new ballroom sort of out the back where the mall is. Quite a large ballroom, 2,400 square metre ballroom. And very nice modern carpeted ballroom, high quality. And then above that, upstairs where the theatre is, they've developed this new space called The Space, which I saw for the first time yesterday. Really interesting mice space. So it's concrete floor, which they can cover, but really nice concrete floor, beautifully polished concrete floor and kind of a bit of an industrial feel in there. And they're doing an exhibition in there that they were just building. It opens this weekend, apparently, a sort of Lego exhibition where they're making all these things in Lego, these massive Lego things, really quite nice. So we might try and cover that next week. We might do a little story, get you, Ben, to send you some pictures and get you to do a little story on that. And quite interesting in that area. And up near the theatre, I hear on the grapevine that they've got some really, really good content coming for the theatre next year, that they're going to, the theatre's been there for a long time, but it's got a capacity of 1,800, if I remember correctly, 1,800 seat theatre. And it's been, perhaps in last year or two, the content hasn't been as good as it could have been. Apparently, Solaire signed a deal with an entertainment company, not unlike what Galaxy's done, signing that deal with I always forget their name, EAG. Somebody comment on what it is. But yeah, the Wonders of the World exhibition is the one that they're going to do in Lego up there over the weekend. So it opens. I don't know how long it'll be going for, but it's going to be good. So a few things happening at Solaire. I think they got a bit of a push from Newport, and I think now they're like, right, it's time for us to up our game, which just goes to show that competition is good, right? You got a bit of competition. The competition keeps you honest, and if you have a monopoly, you tend to get lazy. And we've always, Ben, you and I have always said that the competition is great for the consumer and great for the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking Macau, look no further than Macau for that.
Or Las Vegas over the years.
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's it from us. So have a great weekend. If you're coming to MAD this evening, we really look forward to seeing you. Our last event for the year. We've had a lot of them this year. We've had, of course, Power 50, which will be back next year, 6th of November 2026. We've had our 6 MADs, 3 in Macau and 3 in Manila. We've had TIP, which is coming back again this year. In the next year, we've already announced it, 13th of May next year at MGM Cotai at the Vista, same place as last year. Everyone loves that venue. And of course, we'll have IAG Expo next year in September as well, September 7 to 9. That's coming back as well. Plus all the stuff we're doing with CDC as well. Our partnership with CDC rolls on. It's not a partnership. The fact that we've merged now rolls on, and the first year I think it went very well, and next year the two companies will get a little closer still. We're taking that very slowly and gently. We don't want to mess up the brands as they exist. They're both popular brands in their region, so we don't want the merger to affect that in any way. But let's take the advantages of that. That'll be happening next year, and I'll see you, Ben, in Spain.
Will do. I'll see you there next month.
January the 17th, I think we arrive, right?
Yep, that's the plan.
Yeah. And on the way, I'm visiting COD Sri Lanka, UAE. I'll be going to Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, and Abu Dhabi, and I'll be visiting COD Mediterranean, a bit of a COD fest, COD Mediterranean in Cyprus. All on the way to ICE, arriving at ICE January 17. We'll do ICE, of course, is Monday to Wednesday, January 19, 20, 21. And then you head back to Sydney, correct?
That's right, yep.
and I head on to London and then Boston, and then the tour around the world continues. So no rest for the wicked. IAG going to be very, very busy in 2026. So thanks for listening. One last live IAG live for the year next Friday. We'll see you next Friday. The last day of the year for us. Our office closes that day, Friday, December 19. But for now, it's bye from us. See you at MAD and have a great weekend. See ya.